And for more on the effects of Trump's decision, we're joined now by Afshin Molavi. He's a senior fellow at the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies Foreign Policy Institute. He writes about the new Silk Road, among other things, and you probably just saw him moments ago on The Heat. Thank you for sticking around and talking to us further. The New Yorker piece, of course, the one that got a lot of press, Rex Tillerson, it also kind of telegraphed that this was coming. It talked about this meeting of diplomats back in September and how he just had a list of grievances against Iran. And then Iran's foreign minister was like, wait a minute, we have our own grievances, and kind of talked about how they couldn't even open up a bank account in the UK, that you guys are supposed to lift all these sanctions. It seems like everybody's unhappy with this deal. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, you know, what's interesting is that President Donald Trump, as a businessman, should know that when you both sides walk away from a business deal a little uncomfortable, you know it's a pretty good deal, right? Now, what you know, the critics of the deal will point out there's all sorts of sunset clauses and provisions that allow Iran to sprint 6 years from now, 7 years from now towards a deal. Now, putting all of that aside, I mean, because you can criticize the deal, and by the way, there's hardliners in Iran who criticize the deal too. What President Trump also did, and as you pointed out from that New York article, those talks were also about a new Iran strategy. And what we saw today, issued from the White House, was a new Iran strategy. But that new Iran strategy was obscured by all the noise about whether President Trump actually decertified and jumped away from the deal or is actually still in the deal. But this new Iran strategy is actually very consequential, and it's something we should talk about.
And so what are some of the elements of it that you saw that jumped off the page?
Sure. You know, clearly, this is a strategy that is 180 degrees different than President Obama's strategy. What the Trump administration said is that they want to neutralize Iran's aggressive activities in the region, according to them. They want to confront the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC. They want to drain the financial sources of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. And hold on for a second on that, because the IRGC plays a very important role in Iran's economy, right? And if you say you want to drain the financial resources, what you're sending a signal to European companies. You're saying that European companies, you better not do business in Iran because we're going to sanction every single entity that the IRGC is involved in, right? And you can't do business in Iran without hitting the IRGC in some way, shape, or form. So, and finally, they said they want to confront Iran's ballistic missile activity. So the Iran-U.S. relationship was already fraught with risk and potential confrontation. This new Iran strategy ratcheted that up at least 4 or 5 levels.
One of the comments from Leon Panetta, who was a former cabinet member in the Obama administration today, is that presidents are remembered for the bridges that they build, not the ones they tear down. This president's all about tearing down bridges. Talk to me about that, and how do you mend this if that's the intent?
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, look, there was a clear need for a review of Iran policy. But there's just so many contradictions in this policy that he's laid out. You know, on the one hand, he speaks to the Iranian people and he talks about their aspirations for freedom and democracy in that speech he gave today. On the other hand, he bans them from entering the United States, and they're part of this travel ban, right? You know, on the one hand, he talks about the importance of the Iranians achieving their economic prosperity and their economic dignity, right? He actually mentioned those kind of things in the speech. But the Iran nuclear deal will actually help them achieve that because it'll normalize Iran's relations with the outside world. So there's like many things in this Trump administration, this